Hi, it's Marcus again, and this is actually part 2 of Life is What You Make It. And for those that have seen the first part, you'll understand that we're looking at the way things are today. For those that are survivors here, thankfully, to be able to do things that are going to change their lives. Find themselves in a position to reassess everything, really. We're all in that position now to have a look at everything. I mean, one thing that stands out, and a lot of people have been saying this for a long time, the people that earn the most money, the big financiers, the bankers, the stocks and share sellers, the people who use their brains and don't help anyone really but themselves and the market, they make massive amounts of money and have loads and loads of wealth. And you see the people who work for the likes of the NHS and the carers who go to nursing homes and go to old people and young people who are sick, those carers who look after people, they've been getting, squat really. And the doctors, although we think doctors are very well paid, if you see what they have to go through and what they do, and we've seen that a lot lately, some of the television pictures of what's been happening. How can you put a price on what they're worth? I mean, you can't. Anyway, I don't want to go into detail about this, because it's not about, thinking about this too much, but it's about reassessing what we think now is of value to us in life, personally and nationally and globally. So we're starting to reassess all this. And that's part of this big change that's going on. For me, in my spiritual journey, I talk about an ascension path, a path of ascension, but we're not going to talk about that so much today. Just day-to-day things. And it's funny because it's actually Easter Sunday I'm recording this. And it reminded me this morning about how Easter is very much a time of rebirth, when Christ was reborn and came back as a spiritual being or a physical being, whatever it was. But it was about rebirth. And also, for those that aren't aware, it's also the Passover, the Jewish Passover, which in the Bible, when it talks about Last Supper, that was Christ. It was a Jew, by the way, for those that don't know. That was him having his Last Supper, was him having his, what they call a Seder night for Jews, and a Passover. He was doing that on this time of year, which is now actually. And the Passover is about the plagues, basically. It's about Moses taking the Jewish folks out of Egypt, and the Pharaoh saying, no, you're not going. I need them to build my buildings and do all my work. They're my slaves. And he didn't actually speak like that. That's just me, just changing my voice. But the 10 plagues are a bit, for me, I see that in a way of us letting go of stuff. Being able to let go of old rubbish that no longer serves us in our lives. So this is why in the first video I talked about this being a time of reflection for us. And we've been given this time to not think about lots of different things that we normally have in work and in schools and in whatever else we do, but just a lot more time to think about things. And as I've said in the first video as well, you need to think about positive things. It's no good just thinking about, oh dear, the world's terrible and we're all going to die. Well, we are all going to die. And that's another thing we have to face up to. But let's hope we're not going to die yet. And let's hope we don't get the virus. And apologies to anyone who's upset already watching this, who's seen someone pass away through the virus, and who's close to them especially. So I'm sorry, and I wish you peace. But the fact of the matter is, this time of rebirth is a time for us to look at our lives and look at the world and look what's important to us and what isn't important, and try and think of ways or meditate on ways of how we're going to change that. First and foremost for yourself, because I use this quote quite a lot, and I hope Michael Jackson doesn't sue me now that he's passed. But if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change there. Because that's the first thing you need to do. Make a change with yourself and your thoughts and what you think's important and what you think's not important, and how you want to distribute your wealth or lack of wealth, and how you want people to help you and how you can help people, and what you can do to make the world a better place. Because this isn't happening for no reason at all. There's a reason for all this, and in the future, when the historians look back on this time and see all the catastrophes that we are going through now, they won't see it like that. They'll just see, wow, what an amazing change happened during the 2020s when the world became as it is now, a heaven on earth. Because that's what we're heading for. I know there's lots of fear about, obviously with the virus and stuff like that, but you need to stay in your hearts as much as possible and look for the positive things that you can do to make the world a better place. And especially, you have to make your world a better place first. And as my beautiful dear wife reminded me earlier, I did a video some while back called Love Yourself. And it's all about that as well. You need to start there. Start loving yourself first. We've all got problems, and we've all made problems, and we've all had problems in our lives that have made us who we are today. It's now time to let them go, any old stuff that you don't need to carry around with you anymore, and start loving yourself if you have a problem with that. And I do it like this. I just go, oh, I love you, Marcus, because you're great, and you're good looking, and you're suave, and oh no, I don't say that. I say sophisticated and modest and things like that. So find something you like about yourself, that you love about yourself, and do that. Just hug yourself and say, oh, I love you, because whatever, And if you can't think about anything about yourself that you love, think about what your children or your parents or loved ones say about you, that they love about you, and hug yourself hard, tight, as you would a loved one, and say, oh, I love you because, and whatever the loved ones say about you. Because you're so generous and kind to everybody, whatever. That's something else you can do. And we're going to see a big change in the world. I mean, it might be 5-10 years, it might be a few years, it might be a few months, but it's definitely coming. And it's us that are going to make the change. It's the way we vote, the way we care, the way we think about things, the way we act in our lives, that's going to change it all. And let's face it, the only reason politicians are in office is because we vote them in. So if your views are such that you want to care more for the world, or care more for caring for people, care more about more money for the NHS, then you can do something about that by voting for people who have your views. It's not all about the money, I know we all want the money, because we all need money to live. But we're going to start to realise now, more than ever, how important the really important things are. Okay? I think that might be enough, actually. I was going to go into another few things, but I think that's enough for today. Anyway, good luck. This is number 2, or Life is What You Make It, Part 2. That's French. Not just good looking, suave, sophisticated. I speak French a bit. I can say deux. 1, 2, 3. Anyway. Stay happy, stay joyful, because that's really important in your life. And enjoy every day as best you can. Please try and keep the fear out of here. Because if you get into that, you know, you're just asking for trouble. Keep the fear out of here. Okay? Take care. God bless.